Hi. Yesterday we finished here and we were discussing this point uh, when the sugar recovery rate decreases and eventually the sugar content, the sucrose content would generally decrease. So I tried to comprehend it better and explain to document it. The idea behind this concept is when the sugar recovery rate decreases, which would imply ultimately that the sucrose content has decreased and therefore the less sugar would be produced, and the base point in this would be that the sucrose content has uh, decreased. Now, how this is going to be uh, can be understood in absolute terms and with clarity. We are just going to explore it with this table here. So, however, now the second point is, however, there is possibility that when sugar recovery rate decreases, the sucrose content may remain same. Now this sentence is contradictory to this sentence. This sentence is saying, this sentence written here, it says, when the sugar recovery rate decreases, the sucrose content decreases, that we have established. But now in second point we are saying, there is also possibility that when sugar recovery rate decreases, the sucrose content may remain same and does not decrease, like we are saying here. Now how this is going to be, to understand this, we will study this table just now. So let's just complete the points first. And it may even increase. How is that possible? It is possible depending on the variety of cane. Now the answer to this contradiction is this. It is possible that the sucrose content may remain same even when the sugar recovery rate decreases. It is because the variety of cane is same. Is different or is better or is less better, so that depends on the variety of cane. Here the variety of cane being the variable factor, uh, independent variable factor, you will say in this case. So no matter the quantity of cane, 10 kg or 40 kg, the variety of cane produced can determine the sucrose content in it. For example, there is certain variety of cane in KPK, the latest one named Gurhaman 2021. So I have opened the website already. So it's the KPK's website, and there are the varieties here, sugarcane varieties over this time duration of the years, uh, tons per hectare yield, cane yield, sucrose content for each variety is written here, and how much of sucrose content quantity were found in them based on the early or mid maturity dates. So the latest one here was the Gur Rahman, that was in 2021. They have perhaps tried to develop it, and it was 85 percentage was tons per hectare. It was cultivated perhaps, and 12.46 was the sucrose content, and it was uh, you can say its maturity was early when they found it, cultivated it. So it is assumed to produce 85 tons per hectare in cane yield with commercial cane sugar, that is CSS, sucrose content percentage, of 12.46 on early maturity. That is commercial cane sugar percentage. Therefore, assuming if the government wants to set a price, it could rather be on the kgs of cane and linked to the variety of cane, trying to work through a simple below. Now I've just tried to work out in the numbers to conclude and further elaborate on these points. So let's say these are the numbers, these are the prices of canes, these are the quantity of canes, they have been kept remain same. This is the variety of cane named Gur Rahman, and the percentage sucrose content I'm assuming is 12.46%. So here it is the commercial cane sugar percentage that they have written is 12.46%. So I have assumed sucrose content percentage as 12.46%. These numbers are not assumptive, but the number here and the remaining are the assumptive. Sucrose quantity 12.46 kg percentage of sucrose content, let's say, is producing 4.984 kg of sucrose in kgs. And if the sugar recovery rate is 9%, the sugar made is 4.4. Now if we come here and see on this point, when the sugar recovery rate decreases, sucrose content would generally decrease. So here the sugar recovery rate was 9, the sugar made was 4.4. The sugar recovery rate was 10%, and the sugar made was 4.984, a certain points increase in sugar made. Now here, if we say this is the variety of good grain, and here we are, now there are two things. This is the, let's say we are assuming this is the sucrose content percentage, and this is the sucrose content in kgs, and here is the sugar recovery rate. But there is a technical difference. Here we are saying when the sugar recovery rate, this, let's say, goes from 10 to 9, so the sucrose content would generally decrease. Though the variety is same, but this content, let's say, because the sugar recovery rate has reduced from 10 to 9, the sugar made is going to be reduced from 4.9 to 4.4. Assuming the varieties are also different and the canes are also different, right? But here the canes are same. So if we go to the next point, it says there is possibility when the sugar recovery rate decreases, the sucrose content may remain same. Now how this this can be? If it is saying, let's say there is possibility when the sugar recovery rate decreases, let's say it decreases from 10 to 9, and the sugar made is from 4.9 to 4.44, right? Because जितना sugar recovery rate होगा उसी के हिसाब से your sugar will be the quantity of sugar will be made. So we are saying the sucrose content may remain same. That means we are saying the percentage of uh, this may not change. Let's say if at 10 the sucrose content percentage is 12.46%, so we are saying, and it is producing 4.984 sugar. So let's say we are saying if the sugar recovery rate decreases, that means this sugar made is decreased. But if in case the variety of the cane is better, it's some else cane, let's say it's some XYZ cane, right? And it is 13.8, it has sucrose content. So the sucrose quantity will be changed, though the sugar recovery rate has decreased from 10 to 9, but though the sucrose content percentage has been changed because the variety of cane has changed. So even when the sugar recovery rate decreases from 10 to 9, the sugar made is going to be decreased. Sugar made is going to remain same. See, 4.984 to 4.96, so almost it's same. So even when the sugar recovery rate decreases, if the cane variety is changed, made better, so the sucrose content may remain more or less same, or in terms that it produces the same amount of sugar. So when we say when the sugar recovery rate decreases, that eventually the sucrose content would decrease. So this is what we means, let's say 11 and 10. When the sugar recovery rate decreases from 11 to 10, the sucrose content in terms of the sugar made was reduced, right? Not here, but the sugar made was reduced in reference to the sucrose content, of course. And that would mean sucrose, when let's say if there is 1100 11 kgs of cane, and all 11 kgs of cane is crushed, so that is 11 let's say there is 100 kgs of cane, right? Going back to the previous example, and if in 100 kgs of canes all 10 kgs are crushed, so you're going to get 4.9. But in that 100 kgs of cane, the sugar recovery rate decreases, and you crushing only 90 kgs of cane, it is going to give you the less sugar, but because the variety is here is changed of better quality, it is going to give you the same amount of sugar. So generally from this concept you are going to get it very correctly, that when the sugar recovery rate decreases, it ultimately indirectly means that the sucrose content would generally decrease, just we have discussed now. However, there is possibility that when sugar recovery rate decreases, the sucrose content may remain same. So even when the sugar recovery rate, means the quantity of cane that you have crushed to make the sugar, that has decreased from 100 kgs to 90 kgs, for example, but the sugar amount being produced is the same, is because the variety is better. So now I'm just going to read out the points here. So that was all. Uh, the point number 1 says, try to work in reverse and see if how does the end result make changes and when changes are made in second point of reference. So these were the first point of reference, right? This was the second point of reference, and this was the third point of reference. So we made changes here in second point of reference, that is cane variety and sucrose content. Point number 2 is different variables perform different function depending on this categorization. Dependent variables are, there are dependent variables and there are variables that act as catalyst. So here we try to find the dependent and independent by changing the numbers and the catalyst variables that may affect and impact the results. Point number 3 is detailed research work on pricing strategies may produce meaningful results. So if the pricing strategies are made considering these, it may produce meaningful results. So further we are going to go do this next, and that was all for today. So I'll be just closing here. Thank you.